Alright, now I know the last video I posted was a Fortnite video, and it was quite a while ago, but I don't want this to be an exclusively gaming channel. Rather, I want this to be an outlet for me to discuss whatever I'm interested in at the time. What was this video about again? Oh yeah, Christmas time. The wonderful smell of sugar cookies, the beautiful sight of all the lights decorating every house in your neighborhood. This AI-generated garbage put out by Coca-Cola last year. I mean, seriously, why the hell would they do that?
Hi, Editing Softy here. Sorry the mic's really bad. I'm away from my computer at the moment. It just occurred to me that the footage you're watching right now is actually the ad from this year. I don't know why, but I guess Coca-Cola went ahead and made another AI ad, which is just great. That really makes me optimistic about the future of humanity.
And of course, trampling people at stores and spending thousands of dollars because that rice cooker was on sale. Either way you slice it, there's something about this time of year for everyone to enjoy. But if you were born in the mid-2000s like me, you may remember a certain little shit that always came with the holiday season, who always made it their mission to trash your house and get into your favorite cereal. That's right, I'm talking about the Elf on the Shelf. My family got our first Elf on the Shelf around 2011, and with it came the book, The Elf, of course, and my parents decided to throw in an Elf story on DVD. And I thought it would be a splendid idea to have a look back on this nostalgic childhood remnant and just make fun of it for your entertainment. So without further ado, this is an Elf story. The movie begins exactly where you'd think it does. At the North Pole. And right away you can tell that this is on the lower budget side of 3D animation. The North Pole out here looking like an early episode of Paw Patrol. Anyway, we're introduced to our main character who doesn't actually have a name at the moment. He runs into another elf with a cart of mail. After helping that elf pick up the letters, one falls off and lands right in front of him, which he then takes to the big man upstairs, and Santa explains that this letter is from a kid who doesn't think he believes anymore. Our main character then convinces Santa that he can help that kid believe again, and Santa sends him on his way. Our main character then proceeds to cut through this giant-ass line at the send-off just to meet up with his friends, and gotta say, having friends without names is such a weird concept. Like, how do they all distinguish each other? Like, there's white elf with blonde hair, female elf, and black elf. Anyway, our main character explains to his friends that he has a special assignment from a kid who doesn't believe in Santa anymore, and somehow this information is shocking to everyone around him. I don't know, I just feel like in a universe where Santa exists, and he's, never caught and he hides his identity, I feel like a kid not believing is more of a common occurrence, but whatever. Our main character then demonstrates more goodwill by pushing to the front of the line so he can go down this weird slide boxing thing. Like, he clearly wasn't in the front of the line when we last saw him. But with that, he's sent off into the sky towards his new home to make his kid believe again. Main character Elf is then flung at the front door of the house like, holy shit, that FedEx driver is over it. These two girls then bring the box inside and absolutely tear into it like a pair of vultures feasting on a fresh corpse. And then our kid who doesn't believe, Taylor McTuttle, comes into the room and says this.
What's that? Another Christmas decoration?
What a Scrooge of a child. Like, how do you not like Christmas? You're getting free gifts and shit. You're not the one working a job and spending thousands of dollars to give gifts to people. Save some misery for the rest of us. The dad then starts reading the book and explains that as soon as the elf comes to their house, they have to name him and do it right fucking now or he'll never get his magic.
Okay, let's call it Stinky Pants. Your name's Stinky Pants. Now fly.
Dude, why is this kid so anti-fun? I feel like he's a bitch to hang out with. The family then breaks out into song, singing about all the names they could give their elf. And in the middle of the song, Taylor suggests,
what about Chippy?
And after ignoring him for about 30 seconds, one of the girls suggests Chippy, and the whole family loves it. That night, Chippy flies back to the North Pole, and all the elves sing a song about how great this year's gonna be. And it is a banger. The next day, Taylor asks Chippy if he could fly around the room to prove he's real, and knowing that he, of course, can't do that, Chippy gets distraught and realizes that this is going to be harder than he thought. Back at the North Pole, Chippy's friends tell him that seeing isn't enough to believe when you have to feel it in your heart. The next night, Taylor's sisters explain to him the most important rule of an elf on the shelf. If you touch him, his magic goes away. And he brushes it off as a bunch of nonsense. The family then takes their Christmas photo, and Chippy decides to sit next to it on the next day. And this is where shit shit gets real. Taylor touches Chippy and knocks him over, which of course takes away his magic, so he's not able to fly back to the North Pole tonight. But after his friends rescue him, he's taken to a hospital at the North Pole. We're then taken back to the McTuttle house where the little sisters sing a song about Christmas being a time of belief, love, and hope, during which Taylor decides to write a letter to Santa apologizing for touching Chippy and asking him to come back. Santa then brings the letter to Chippy and it apparently gives him his magic back. Like it just kind of poofs into magic dust that makes him fly again. He then flies back home and the family reprises the song from earlier and holy shit, this father voice actor needs an Oscar like right now.
It's a time of love, joy, and peace. It's a time of faith to believe. More than presents under a tree, topped with a star.
Chippy then leaves to follow the rest of the elves and Santa into the night sky, which ends the film. An Elf Story is a very heartwarming and great film for the holiday season. It pairs perfectly with the tradition of the elf and the book. My only critique is that at some times the animation style seems kinda creepy and ugly, but that's also a critique I have with my favorite animated movie of all time, Monsters vs. Aliens. Looking back at the script, I must have been on drugs while writing that because the Spider-Verse movies exist and they are infinitely better, so disregard my last statement, please. If you're interested in this movie and haven't seen it before, it's actually available on Netflix right now. With that, I'm still terrible at writing outros, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. I'll see you next time.